I've got at least 20 animators who are interested in what the South Tip Art Center has in mind concerning Inktober. For you guys who are new to the program, Inktober, you would have seen last year, perhaps even before that, Inktober is part of the assessment schedule concerning a sketch note that you have in media writing. So you don't have to do 31 Inktober sketches, but there is some really strong cross-collaborative capability that can evolve on the back of Inktober. And Eimear's going to explain some of the interests the South Tip Art Center has, and we'll take questions from you at the end of her 15, 20 minutes of interaction. So I'm going to hand it over to Eimear.
Good morning, everybody. How's it going? Happy Friday. So every year, well, in the last number of years, the Art Centre has been tasked with organising Inktober, or just taking over the running of it. And the obvious choice has always been for us to collaborate with the students in LIT, just because of the nature of the work that you're doing. So our intention this year, I would kind of suggest that it hasn't really happened so far in the last few years, is that we want to make a ripple in the international Inktober and be noticed. Last year there was a website constructed that was Inktober Tipperary, which was done in tandem with an exhibition in here which was called Illustrating Tipperary, which showed some of the work of the students, and we had screens with some of the video work on the walls, and we had a day for children where they could come in and draw on the walls. Essentially, we had special things made for the walls, and there was a couple of workshops done as well. So this year, we're kind of, like, you're all artists, and everybody here connected to the Art Centre, while we maybe, you know, have arts backgrounds in many different ways, we're not illustrators. And there's nobody within this, under our umbrella here, that's an illustrator. So what we would love you to do is to take it over, take ownership of it, and, you know, make it personal, do whatever you want with it. I think, you know, it's never too early in your field to start trying to get your work in front of people, the right people that you want to see it. So I think this is a really good opportunity for you to all kind of band together and kind of strengthen numbers, you know, make a coordinated effort to all feed in to the one place, to the one repository, and that will just get bigger, bigger, bigger. You can ask your friends to join in. The more people you get involved in it, the better. And using like hashtags like Inktober Tipperary and even Inktober, directing your content at the right people. Like, the one thing that comes to mind immediately with me is the Wolf Walkers that's coming out at the end of the month. So, I mean, that's going to be enormous. The build-up is already on for that. So why not kind of leverage that and bring that into October in some way, try and connect with those guys in Cartoon Saloon who you might, you know, might see what your individual work in a couple of years. Are you second years? Yeah, you're going to be looking for work experience and things like that, and you're going to be wanting to get into the right places. So why not start now trying to get your profile in front of these people? And if you all do it together as a group, I think it could make a big splash. And we want to give you kind of total creative freedom in that, like, we're not going to be standing over it. We look forward to see what percolates from it. I don't know if any of you are familiar with the Glucksman Gallery in Cork. It's during the lockdown, like, they had to shut down everything they were doing. They would have had a number of massive projects on, but the way in which they used their online space and used, you know, all their limitations to their advantage, they're now nominated for awards. We spoke to Fiona Carney a number of weeks back about it, and she said they were having engagement from places all over the world, which was, while they're good at their social channels and they're really good at communicating with people, they saw just a massive increase of who was looking at what they were producing. So I think while everybody is a little tired of the digital space now and lockdowns and not being able to go to anything physical, as such, I think there's an opportunity for some innovation in there. Like, how can we use these mediums in different ways? Like, how can you make it different and how can you get noticed? So that's our basic premise for now. Our intention is more to give you profile than to give us profile. All we really want is just to be acknowledged as participants in the project, obviously as the funders or whatever of it. So what do you think? We're open to ideas. We'd also like to, at the end of the month, one of the feedback things that came back from any of the students that were involved in previous Inktober's was that, like, for instance, the exhibition last year, they all requested that could they please have the, you know, event or whatever was going to be after Inktober, because they were working through the month. They weren't really essentially finished until October ended. So we hope in November to turn this into something. We've several different ideas. I don't want to get into the ins and outs of them now because they mightn't all be feasible, but we're open to your feedback in that as well. Possibly we could do projections somewhere, like this evening at the main guard, if anybody was interested in going down. The Junction are doing that very thing with some, with a book called The Lighthouse Journal, which was made into an interactive book, which is lovely and will be released tonight and is really worth downloading, actually, for any of you that are interested in gaming as well. It's there's a lovely flow to it. I went through it last night, and it's essentially reading of the book. It takes you on a journey through a map. There's audio, there's a guy narrating the story to you, there's little video clips, but the way everything is embedded in it is really, really cleverly done and would be seriously interesting to some of you, I would say. Yeah, I think that I covered pretty much everything I have on here now, but like, we'd love to turn this into an event in November in some way, shape or form, and we'd love you to collaborate with us in deciding what that might be.
I suspect most people that you talk to here have Instagram accounts already. Would you mind telling them what your account name is, as well as what South Tipp Arts account name is?
Yeah, on Instagram we are, is it South Tipp Arts? South Tipp Arts Center on Instagram. Okay, so I'm _E, so it's apostrophe with 2 underscores. So APOSTROPH __E. Not complicated at all. I'm not very good on there at the moment. I kind of use, like, I've slid away from Instagram a little while in the past, but the way I've always used it, and I've kind of veered over back towards my Flickr account now, because it's just, I find that there's less noise there. So I don't tend to engage as much on Instagram, but always what it is to me is like a visual diary of places, never faces, just places, really. The locality, really, in recent months, because I've not been anywhere, but anywhere remote and beautiful is that's my bag. Trees, mountains, rivers, lakes.
I'd ask students to give discovery points, places around Clonmel that are of interest perhaps to a new student. Most of your things are places without signs, without tarmac at them. Well, yeah. the things that seem to scroll by where I am when I'm looking. So could you name 2 places that are easily within 5 kilometers of where we're sitting right now, that you say, find that place by maybe looking at the Instagram shot that you make, find a place because it's taken you to a new dimension of sound or space or solace or discovery. So can you think of some place within 5 clicks of where we are right now, you say, hey lads, I'd check that out because, well, check my Instagram because you can see why, but give me an idea, because some of the students are thinking about what to offer as a discovery point for first-year student.
The first place I would tell anybody to go locally, which you can walk to, but it's a nice walk, but it's St. Patrick's Well, probably, which is a kind of early Christian site that St. Patrick is allegedly supposed to have visited, but we don't really know. But anyway, there's a lot of pre-Christian stuff going on there as well. There's a lot of interesting stuff to explore. There's a cross in the middle of the lakes there. That's 4th century or something. So very, very early stuff. And there's the ruins of an old church, tons of trees. There's I don't know if any of you have ever heard of a rag tree, which is like a tree that you hang your intentions on. It's very, very old, kind of custom. There's a rag tree out there. So visually, it's a totally interesting and captivating place. If you're into history in any way, shape or form, you'll find tons to explore out there. And actually on the way to it, there's a very large wall as you go up the hill to the well. A huge wall that's looks like it's surrounding a property, but I believe that it wasn't. It was a famine wall, and it was basically just a wall that was built. The wealthy landowner in the area at the time just didn't want to give charity to these starving people, so decided they should build the wall to earn the money to and there's kind of there's a plaque that tells you the story of that. That's very close to the well. Also there's a lake out there, so I guess Marlafield in general as an area is a lovely area in town. The other place I would probably say to go, the river is the Blue Way is there now. If you've got a bicycle, you can cycle all the way to Carrick and back again. That's a fantastic resource to have around here. Also, Kilsheelan is a lovely, if you didn't want to go all the way to Carrick, Kilsheelan's about 5 miles out the road. You could easily walk there and back and have a very splendid day. The river's fabulous. There's lots of, actually, they've just put signs all the way down the river now, kind of explaining the various points and, where the barges used to be tied up on those are all still there to be seen with the rope marks on them, and the various wildlife and all that type of stuff. So they'd probably be the 2 top places I'd send people around here.
Okay, so on Friday the 2nd of October, do you think we could meet you in St. Patrick's Well, and then if it's raining, meet you at Questham at 10 o'clock?
I actually work on Friday, so can I get back to you on that?
Yeah, sure.
Because Friday is a work day for me, and I generally need to be here. We don't have that many bodies to cover. Actually keeping the doors open.
Yeah, we could come to you as well, but I'm sure there's somebody in this group who would experience a third space event, which is an essay I'm asking to write about, with some texture or sensation in St. Patrick's Well. And I'll go further. I will give €5 to everyone in this class who, with a media release allowing it to be videoed, walks along the water or in the water, crossing the entire range of St. Patrick's Well on the 2nd of October.
The water in St. Patrick's Well is so cold. It's a natural spring, so lots of people drink that water. Recently there's been signs going up to alert you to the fact that it's untreated water. I don't know, make up your own mind, drink some and see. It's beautiful water. But I tell you, if you can bear to keep your feet in that water for 20 minutes, you'll be glad you did it. I think the more people get involved in this, and the more that you actually engage and run with it, the more potential it has to really, really get noticed. We'd love to be, championing the animators in LIT and the creative students up there, because we really feel here that as the local art centre, we should really have more of a connection with the students up there anyway. And we're always trying to kind of foster a better, engagement between the 2 places.
Again, I'm encouraging folks to put something in the chat if you want follow-up from Eimear, or you want follow-up concerning what I'm talking about. You'll see this invitation to get on a bus. If you if you are Louise and you live in Marfield and you want to walk to St. Patrick's, that's grand. But if you we're going to do that. We'll do it even if it rains, just because you won't get totally soaked down there, and you don't need to walk in the water at that time. But I want to actually expose you to that place. The sensation about third space should be about the texture and maybe the sound and perhaps the sensation of smell. The unfortunate thing about fall is you don't get the fragrance of the flowers, but there is
I don't know if it's silage or slurry is going on at the moment, but I was out that way last evening and it was truly pungent. So, yeah.
Normally it's a lot nice. It isn't an intrusion on your space, it's not an intruding.
No, it's the countryside. It's the country smell.
And we might have some other detail for you about the settlement of monks that is on a place map of the Ordnance Survey, but it's related to St. Patrick's Well, it's related to Marfield Church, but it's not, I don't actually think it's at the church anymore. I'm not sure. The townland seems to be like amorphous, seems to be more like Curtin Autos than it is the old monastery. But the bus will take us down through a place where in the 4th and 5th centuries were monks. That's the significance of this. Okay, and just to make it hammer home why I want to do it, this is exactly the kind of field trip Paul Young or Tom Moore would have taken as students before they formed Cartoon Saloon and got the idea for The Secret of Kells. I mean, you are who you are authentically by the place your forebears experienced. And that's what makes the richness of the Irish cultural experience, as seen through video and animation, so strong. And that's why I do want to encourage people, can you see it? Can you feel it? Can you smell it? Now can you animate it? There's something about that. I have 2 brothers who used to live in Cashel, would see the picture I could take out my front window. And for years there was a scaffolding on the Rock of Cashel. And 2 of my very American brothers insisted that they knew why it was there, because it was a film set, because they knew how Braveheart was filmed. And I was trying to tell them, no, that's actually a castle. It's actually a real structure. It's actually a real place. But for their American eyes, they saw a film set. And you all know what the Rock of Cashel is and how prominent it is. And what we don't appreciate often is you pass these ruins of Norman times. We walk in the merchant shops, former merchant homes in the streets of Kilkenny, and you maybe don't sense the fact that you just walked over 16th or 17th century timbers to approach the sales desk. And you did that. That was something that's now part of Irish life. But for someone who's trying to craft that experience as a video or as a still image that resonates for its authenticity, part of the experience is you actually noticing the environment around you, hence Patrick's Well. Okay? That's all I have here, Eimear. I appreciate your time.
Okie dokie.
Sorry. Yeah, I just have a question for Eimear. Just about the Inktober thing. I know you've highlighted that you want to kind of create a connection with us students here at LIT. I really appreciate that. But I'm just wondering, how exactly would you like us to create that connection? Would you like for it, like, somehow with our post on Instagram or something to, like, maybe hashtag the account or something?
Yeah, well, we'd like you to do all that, but what we'd really like to do is hand you the account as a group, and like, you would all have to log in for it, add it to your own, and do with it what you like, essentially.
Cool, thank you.
So we can organize all that. There's also an Inktober Tipperary website, which we are, the person who designed it, it's very much all relevant to last year, but it'd be lovely to see a good deal of more content go into that as well. It's very simple. It's it's based on the black and white of the actual Inktober website. So it needs to come alive somehow, I think. So we'd be happy to give you control of that as well. And just share it, spread it. And if you could all feed into the one place then as a group, maybe you can get the attention of some important people.